Hello, it's Simone. I'm up with a Project Live process video, and unlike the other weeks, I did not have any cards pre-picked or anything. So this is where I have to get my box of photos, and luckily I printed my photos up to week 50 last year. So I just need to look at all the pictures, look at my notes, divide them on the page protector, and then look for cards. Now, while you are watching me looking for the right spaces and the right cards, I have a question for you. This video is about 16 minutes long, and I don't really know how to get it shorter. So I could speed it up even more, but then you wouldn't probably be able to see what I'm doing. And on the other hand, I could just leave the distribution of the cards and everything else um, out and start with the embellishing. But I don't know, isn't looking for the right cards part of the process? Please let me know in the comments. I'm really trying to make videos that are about 12 to 15 minutes, and so 16 minutes is kind of a bit too long for my liking. But then I don't want to deprive you of anything that you could see. So what am I doing now? I cut the photos apart, and I am actually working with the August Cocoa Daisy kit from 2016. Yes, I still have my kits packed together. Not all of them packed together. I pulled out most of the embellishments and alphabets, but I left lots of it together. The cards are still there. Everything is still labeled August 2016. And I have the Cocoa Daisy kit. I have the Citrus Twist kit for August 2016, and I haven't used them. Isn't that like, why do I buy all of that stuff and then not use it? So working on Project Live 2016 is so good for my stash busting, and it gives me the feeling that I'm actually using the product that I'm buying. And that is something that is so satisfying. It's even more satisfying than making pretty layouts. Okay. So what I did was I looked at all the cards. I tried to get the um, colors distributed evenly, and now I'm just working on each card. The August 2016 Cocoa Daisy Day in the Life kit was inspired by the gnomes. There was this simple stories line that had several gnomes in gardens and stuff like that. And so I think this is where the Cocoa Daisy designers were inspired. And they made a whole kit with several little gnome items. So instead of backing away from the gnomes, I just embraced the gnome theme. And this is a gnome Project Live layout, and I actually think it works really well. Just wait and see. So since I have two Project Live kits, I don't really need to spread this kit out over 4 weeks. This week I am exclusively working with the Cocoa Daisy kit. Next week I will be working with the Citrus Twist kit, and then I will just go from there and see what is left and what other embellishments I have to pull in. My goal is to just use the things that I am hoarding, because they're prettier when they are in albums and you can actually look at them than stashed away somewhere in a box. Now, you can see that I actually incorporate things that I'm doing in my planner and in my journaling in my traveler's notebooks into my project life. And this is something that I really love. Um, like adapting things from one thing and moving it over, that is just, yay, perfect, isn't it? So I didn't have letter stickers for week 30, and so I just lettered it. It's not the perfect lettering. It's just the typical Simone um, lettering that I usually use. Now I had this Costco photo, um, and um, after I used washi tape to make a 4x6 card with the journaling card that is there, I thought this is not a big story. I mean, yes, it's something to document, and Project Life for me is documenting the day to day life, but I don't even have to say anything about those cards. It's just we renewed our membership and we spent so much money that it was worth going for the executive membership. So yeah, so I swapped it out with a picture of questions for my son. He had to do a book review over the summer break for his sixth grade. And so I just wrote about that because I actually had more to say. And yeah, so I just added a little label to this Costco photo, and then I called it done. For the screenshot of the weather, and now I'm really smiling because I thought it was so freaking hot. But yeah, we had this is in degrees Celsius, and so we had this was 34 degrees. We had 44 degrees this past summer, so this is actually nothing. But yeah, now I'm just I just added a die cut that said captured, and then I wrote on the journaling card I wrote I can't believe it's so hot, and I am just continuing and working on all of those um, journaling cards. Since it was last year, I'm really happy that I don't have to write as much. Last year, I it wasn't bad writing lots of things, but sometimes you don't even need as much information as you think you do. And so it's really nice working on these from last year. So I can just add some kind of memory jogging prompt, and then that's it. So my sons and my husband went to a San Francisco Giants game, and I used the 4x6 journaling card underneath to make a 4x6 card with the 3x4 card and the 4x4 photo, just as a template. And then I fuzzy cut the best day ever and put it on and journaled a bit. Now I'm working on this 4x6 card, and this is again one from the kit. I printed the photo at 4x4 or a little bit smaller than 4x4, and then I fussy cut this saying that says, I don't know, I don't remember, I can't see. And I have been debating whether I wanted to have the color on top or on bottom, but I really like it better on the bottom. And yeah, I think it says all the smiles because they had new haircuts and they looked so cute and adorable. So that was the left side of the spread, and now I'm working on the right side of the spread. And this is one of the first pictures of my new nephew that was born last summer. And I still haven't looked up his birth date. So I really need to do that and add it to the journaling card. What I did was I just wrote, welcome to the family, and then I wrote his name and I added a star. And Yeah, I used the letter stickers to spell out his name, which is Johannes. And yeah, so that was that card. I added that little gnome. I think it said hello. And so I thought that would be fitting. And a heart because, well, who doesn't love little teeny tiny babies? And now I'm working on the next card, which is our passports. So we are not Americans, we are Germans, and we needed to apply for tax identification numbers. But they needed a proof of our existence, and the only thing they accepted was our passports. And I tried to get an appointment at an office, local IRS office here, but they didn't have any open spots, and we all had would have to go there. And so we actually sent out away our passports, and they took about 2.5 months to get back. And all those all the time I was a little bit on edge because what if they were lost in the mail or somewhere else? So yeah, so I had to document this, and I wrote a little bit more about this because that was something that really bugged me. Last summer we played Pokemon Go. I'm not playing anymore. I don't know if anyone of my family still plays, but I was in a gym for about half a day. And so I documented that. And yeah, that was the photo. It's funny when you look back now that some of those things aren't relevant anymore at all. But that's something that's the fun part, isn't it? It's like it was relevant at some point in my life. And looking back at those tiny glimpses is just fun. I pulled out that card because I thought I would be able to use it as to fussy cut the speech bubbles and add them to the journaling cards, but somehow that didn't really work. And now I'm trying to create a cluster, but as you can see, I kind of struggle. So I'm using that arrow label and um, the cork hello. And now I'm just writing that this is what happens when boys are absolutely bored to death. They start being creative, and they actually used shrinky dink foil to draw Pokemons, and they turned out really lovely. And I was so happy that they finally started doing something instead of hanging in front of their screens and, yeah, being bored all day long. So when you tell them, well, sorry, you can't play anymore, then they just walk through the house and say, "Wow, I'm so bored." And yeah, in my project life, I often include pictures that aren't the perfect pictures. Like this one, this is very dark, but it was something I captured and I really thought I needed to document it. And so I didn't really care that it was dark. Um, the moment and the feeling that I had when I saw my husband reading there, which he hadn't done in a long time. He didn't take time for himself. So I really thought it was important to document that. And if it's a dark photo, it is a dark photo. Now, this journaling card has like a tape on top. It looks like you taped something to this, or the white paper got taped to it. So I used my X-Acto knife and just cut it so that I could slit the photo underneath, and it now looks as if the photo was taped to the journaling card. And yeah, this is what the same thing, the Pokemons, that's the result. And this is what they did. They looked for tutorials on YouTube on how to draw those Pokemons, and then they sat there all afternoon working on them. Now that I'm done with the basic design of all of those cards, I'm placing them on the page protectors and going through one last time and looking for things I can still add as embellishments. I had one of those cork embellishments, or actually two cork embellishments on the right side of the spread, and so I decided I needed more on the left side so that it would be balanced more. And that is what I'm doing right now. So I'm adding that cork gnome to the title photo, title card, and the cloud to my sons. And now this looks even more balanced. And then I'm going around with some of those puffy stickers, looking whether they would fit someplace. But I'm not very successful at adding puffy stickers. I add a triangle somewhere else, but I'm quite happy with how this turned out. So here's a look at the completed spread. Oh boy, can you tell that I'm a bit rusty at doing my voiceovers? There is a couple of more videos on screen right now if you want to keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And yeah, thanks so much for sticking with me today. I will see you next time. Until then, have a great day. Bye.